How y'all doing? I just want to jump right into this. Was honestly didn't sleep well last night. Um, Yesterday was probably the first time in a good while where I questioned what I do and why I do it. For no really apparent reason. I think yesterday just some things have happened over the last few weeks, few months in my life, and not specific to anything, just um, kind of getting into that mental space. And like I said before, my mental space right now has been really good. Hopefully, it's the same for you all. But like every now and then, we have these moments where we just like, why do we do what we do, or really enough is enough, or I just want to change. And that's kind of what I kind of brought up going into the new year. And it's probably the first time I've hit a roadblock or a stumbling block, and it's just a moment of reflection. And I think a lot of times what we go through, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it drains us, and it's really because you want either the best for yourself or you want the best for others, and they're not responding the way you want them to respond, and so it kind of drains you. Kind of how I say about pouring into empty cups, empty glasses. Like it's tough to continue to do over time. And I've said this a lot. 2024 was arguably one of the worst years of my life, uh, spiritually, like emotionally. Like it was a prosperous year financially, but it was very draining, and I refuse to have that happen again. I said in the beginning of the year, I'm gonna make decisions throughout this year to protect my peace, to protect my mental. Um, Major part of why I started this podcast and will continue to do so. And yesterday kind of reminded me of why I started this. And it's right, wrong, and different, nothing bad, but you have like moments, in your life where you're allowed to reflect, like a moment that brings you back to earth. Like again, I keep saying the peaks and valleys, right? Yesterday was definitely a valley. Um, just a conversation that was had, and it kind of brought me back to earth. Not even like something that upset me or annoyed me, right? It just kind of put things in perspective of how life really is and the expectations you have of other people for your life, and it stresses you out. Like a lot of our stress and anxiety comes from it. It comes from wanting the best or wanting more from your life, and everyone doesn't view it that way. That's not how the world is, and what happens is that's why you store up, that's why you build up, right? Your confidence, you build up uh, your life, you build up your spirituality, so you can lean on whatever matters most to you. If it's family, if it's your belief, your faith, if it's your work, if it's training, exercising, whatever it is, right? You get back to that because it grounds you. And this is not a bad situation. This is not bad for you because sometimes you get too high, right? And sometimes you get too low. It's better to remain even keel in everything that you do because you like life happens. And yesterday was a moment where life happened. Again, it's not anything terrible, anything bad. It's just a moment of reflection to make you, to bring you back, to earth, to make you realize that you definitely have to take care of you. It makes you, you know, focus more on your health. It makes you focus more on your mental, because the truth is, unfortunately, in this world, like everybody's not for you, and you have the quickest the better or the sooner you find that out, the better your life will be. Like everybody doesn't want what you want for them. Like they're gonna fight you because they don't see it right now. They don't see it how you see it. And this kind of brings me back to when I was younger, um, when I used to, play basketball uh, in my neighborhood or at the, local courts or gym, or when I was in college and there were older gentlemen playing basketball and you talk trash to them, right? But during the process, they'd always tell you keep living. Like everything you're telling them and making fun of them and joking with them, and uh, they tell you their response would always be keep living. And you really never understand it until you keep living, right? And that's just like that moment of reflection where you then, slide into their role of the older gentleman and you're talking with younger individuals and they just don't get it. And you're fighting, and you want the best for them, right? And they just don't get it right now. Maybe they get it later, but in this moment, when you want them to get it, they don't get it. And that's when you have the moment where you have to reflect and think about why you do what you do. Like what is the true reason why you do what you do? It's not about being the greatest and that. Like, why do you do what you do? And that's something that's not a question you can probably ask immediately, but it's a question that you got to soul search and find out. Because otherwise, you're going to keep stressing yourself out, either for yourself or others. Like, no one's going to get what you're trying to do in that moment. That's most human beings, even myself, right? Again, I go back to the basketball moments or the life moments with older people, uh, and they're trying to give you wisdom. They're trying to give you knowledge. They're trying to help you moving forward. And because you're young and not trying to hear all that, and you just think you're invincible, like you don't listen. But it always comes back, right? It comes back full circle at some point, and that's the tough part about life, right? Like especially in the business of helping others. But even in trying to help yourself, like you just gotta understand why you do what you do. Fully understand it, right? Like just keep it in the forefront of your mind. Write it down. Keep it on your phone. I try to keep messages on my lock screen to keep me pushing forward because you're gonna have moments where you doubt yourself. You're gonna have moments where you doubt the people around you, and it's a way to keep yourself upbeat. And it sometimes it's disheartening. Sometimes it's like that's like life is gonna be tough. Now I've said it before. I don't think life is hard. I don't think anything's really hard. I also don't think anything's really easy. I don't think it's supposed to be. But it's tough. It's manageable if you make the right decisions. If you continue on the right path. If you have the right mindset, it's all manageable. Like it's not gonna be sunshine and roses. That's not the truth. That's not. Sometimes maybe, but not all the time. Like if that's what you expect out of life, you're gonna be miserable. Because life is gonna life. Life is gonna kick you. Why it's gonna bring you down and then kick you while you're down. And you gotta find out. You gotta dig deep to understand why you do what you do. Otherwise, you're gonna quit. And anytime something get tough, you're gonna give up. But if you have a certain why, you have a certain reason, and it matters to you, you won't give up. You won't quit. You won't walk away. You'll keep fighting. And I had like that moment last night where my true response was to find on my knees and talk to God. That's the truth. Like I had really no response to the situation or circumstance of, you know, what was on my mental. And I said, you know what? Like once I, prayed about it and talked, like I said, you know what, I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna release it to the world. I'm gonna let it go. And then I'll make a decision to do whatever I have to do. And that's what we have to do, right? We have to learn to let it go. Whatever situation, whatever circumstance, whatever problems in our life that we're dealing with that's affecting our mental. We gotta learn to walk away from it. Not what you want to do right, but that certain circumstance or thought. Don't walk away from what you love doing just because a certain situation don't go as planned. No, but choose your mental. Learn to be okay with walking away for your mental. Like if it drains you, if it continuously stresses you out, if it's not pouring into you, if it's not growing you, walk away from it. It's gonna be okay. But don't stay stuck in a situation because you like it. If you don't see a potential of growth, walk away from it. But you have to know why you're doing it. Like no matter what, why you do what you do and why you walking away from it. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to keep going back and forth? Is it worth it to keep draining yourself every day? Is it giving you what you want? Truly, it could be a place, it could be a person, it could be a thing, it could be a car, it could be a pet, it could be a relationship. Like if it's not giving you what you want, walk away from it. Protect your mental because it's really not worth it. Since I've started this, my mental has improved, and even as I'm talking now, my mental state is improving. Like I'm not miserable, I'm not sad, I'm not like that's not the case. But you have moments where you search, you ask yourself, is this worth it? And then again, you have to reflect on why you do what you do. If your why is strong enough, you'll keep going because it's bigger than that one moment. It's bigger than that one singular issue. Like, but if it's not, like, if your why is not great, you're gonna quit. And again, I go back to if it's too much for you to bear, you have to walk away because nothing should take your mental. Nothing should destroy you that you have to deal with every single day. If that's the case, you have to walk away. You have to just move on. You have to protect you. And once you do that, you'll get over it. You'll get over the decision because you're choosing you. You're choosing yourself. You're choosing your mental. And last night I had to reflect on why I do. And my why is much greater than the what, the who, the where. Like my why is way more important. But the self reflection is so important to your growth. And I just like, and that's one of probably many moments I'll have this year. But the key thing I said, and I'll continue to say, I will refuse to allow 2025 to be like 2024. Like it's not gonna happen. It's not. It's. I will not let that happen. I'll walk away before I ever do that because it's so important for you to be mentally involved, mentally engaged, uh, because it will affect your work. No matter how you look at it, it will affect your work. Your work, and if it affect your work, then it'll only get worse. So those relationships, those people, the places, like you gotta like do a self reflection. Is it me? Is it them? Is it the place? Is it my actions? Is it my thoughts? Is it how I conduct my like you have to do a full reflection. And like my reflection is done pretty much when I find my needs. I can find strength in that because it's just me and God and you release things like I'm doing right now. You release and you walk away. You leave it alone. Like whatever happened yesterday. Today is a new day. And you gotta again it goes back to what I always say, keep one foot in front of keep moving forward because trouble don't last. And when you have that mindset, like the older folks always had that they my grandmother, great grandmother, you like you never really saw them stress or worry. because they knew it would pass. Our generation was a little different. We still worry, we still stress. And the reason I think that is because our faith is not what it used to be. Their faith was on a different level. They had an expectation that things would change. Us, we just kind of hope and wish because we're not rooted in anything. And that goes back to your why. Why am I doing what I do? Is my why greater than the who? Is my why greater than the where? Is my why greater than the what? And then where's that support? Where's that support system when I'm running on empty? And once you have that, like it changes everything because it no longer affects you more than something momentary. Like it's not it doesn't have a week effect on you. It doesn't have a month effect on you. It's no longer the same. Like it just passes by. Again, it goes like the storm, right? Either you're leaving a storm or you're walking toward one. Like life is not gonna just all of a sudden just become amazing. You gotta make that. You gotta make changes. You gotta even for me, like right, my goal was to lose a certain amount of pounds in January. I did not step on a scale, but the day before, I was probably about a pound off. That's based on the work that I put in January. That didn't just happen to happen. Like I made that happen through sacrifices, through diet, exercise. Like I made that happen. Same thing in your life. You make it happen. You make it happen because God blessed you with that talent a long time ago. So you don't have to keep asking Him for the talent. You already have the talent. Now it's up to you to make what you want to happen in your life happen. You have all the tools. You have all the talent. You have everything you need to succeed is already inside of you. You don't have to go get something outside of you to do it. It's there already. So whatever you want to do, you can do it. You just have to make your mind up and go do it. Put in the effort. And once you get to that point, it starts to matter a little more. You start to get little victories. But you're going to have setbacks. Everything's not going to be, again, sunshine and rainbows. There are going to be, there are going to be setbacks, but that's why they're comebacks. Like the stories of life, the ebbs and flows, the peaks and valleys, the ups and downs are what makes life life. So you can't, you got to take the good and the bad. You got to take the successes and the failures. That's a part of it. Like you're not gonna always win. You're not gonna always succeed. You're not gonna always be up. Like you're gonna have some down moments, and that's why you store up. The harvest is the harvest, but the famine is gonna come. The drought is gonna come. How do you prepare for it? What is your why? How important? How strong? How impactful is your why to your life and to what you do? If it's not, you're gonna quit. And again, quitting and walking away is two different things. Quitting is giving up and getting nothing from it. When you walk away from a situation that's draining and tiring, you're saving yourself. You still learned, you still grew, but sometimes it's too much because not of you, but because of surroundings. Like you're not going to succeed in this situation because whoever it is you're with or whatever it is you're doing is not worth it. When you just quit, you give up. Like, yeah, that's a little different because you get nothing from it. Is it tough? Then you quit. Yeah, that's you lose everything. You lose yourself. But when you've done everything you can and it's still not enough, you have to learn to walk away because you can't lose yourself. You cannot lose yourself fighting for others, fighting for a cause that has no true meaning to yourself. Like we have to learn to love ourselves more than we do. And I'm not saying, put yourself all the time before others. Like sacrifice is important to life. Helping others is very important, but you can't help others if you have nothing else. Like at that point, you're killing yourself. It's counterproductive. You're running on E and giving other people a ride. You're going you're gonna run out of gas. And when you run out of gas, those people, because they've expected you to do this for so long, they're gonna get mad at you. Like, why? Now I'm late for work. They didn't offer anything for the gas. Or you can let them know you're running out of gas. So it becomes, you create more of a problem than was already there. That, like, take care of yourself. It's important because 50% of you is probably not good enough. Can't help other people with half of you. Be full. Fill yourself up. How do you do that? Is however, whatever creates joy for you. But like I said, that situation or circumstance happened. It happened for a reason. It gave me something to talk about. It gave me something to, it gave me a release for this and for others. Someone else is dealing with the same issue and they'll watch this and they'll be encouraged because I'm not stopping. I'm not giving up. I'm not quitting. I'm not walking away. I'm now fortifying myself. I now realize what I need to do, who I need to be around, what's important to me, because my why is that important. I don't do what I do for me. I don't do what I do for glory. I don't do what I do for money. I do what I do for others because I get joy in watching others achieve their greatness. That is like, that's the God's honest truth. I love seeing other people succeed. I love seeing other people win. And like, I don't know. I have no idea why. I have no idea why. It's been something about me my whole life. And it brings me joy to see people. I always tell the student athletes I deal with to write their goals, write them on my board or write them down and look at them. And because I want you to achieve them at a young age because I had that opportunity too. Not that I never achieved them. I just, it took too long because of my decision. It took too long because I didn't listen to the right people. It took too long because I did not pay attention to the guidance. And so now it's my job to make sure they do, to end the cycle so it doesn't happen to them. Like I live a great life. Do I think it could be way better? Yeah, I do. But that's based on my decision. And so now I try to make sure they don't do the same thing I did, that they're equipped to make the right decision. Because it's not like worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not complaining. I'm not like, my life is good, right? But I do believe it could have been better. I could have reached what I am right now sooner, but I made decisions, right, that kind of set me back because I was in life, like, and that's cool and all, but like if you have goals and you have things you're trying to achieve, like you gotta stay focused. You can't lose focus because of the moment. You can't lose focus because of the wins. Like you gotta continue to stack the days. You gotta continue to double up. You gotta continue to get ahead. It's not even about competition. It's about yourself. How can I improve myself? How can I grow myself? What did I learn from this situation that can improve me? And once you get to that point, I think that you're self-reflecting all the time. Like I think that's how you mature. Maturity is so important to life, so that you don't go through the same thing and keep failing the same test. That's truly the mark of greatness. Not failing the same test, no matter how many times you deal with it. Maturity is so spiritual maturity, emotional maturity, natural maturity. Like it's maturity is so important to your growth because it you know how to handle certain things. You know why you respond. Like you can reflect quickly and have a better understanding of why you went through what you went through, so that you don't do it again. That's just that was just like I said on my mind. Like yesterday was tough. Today is much better already because I know what to expect. And so if I allow things to happen to me, it's my fault now. Because I know what to expect. You showed who you are to me. You revealed yourself to me, and I thank God for that. The place, the people, the things in life that do that to you. Like God exposes it to you, and now you have a reaction. And it's a beautiful thing, right? That you know what's coming, or you seen it already, and you know how to prepare for it. But make sure, and I don't want to get this lost in the whole situation, right? Make sure your why is important. Make sure your why is greater than the what, who, where, because you can fall back on that. That's what I fall back on. Why do you do what you do? And if it's not, like, it's never, you're never going to push yourself because you're always going to walk away. You're always going to quit because it's not important to you for it. You're just doing it to do it. And so when it gets tough, you go, I'll do something else because it's going to get tough. And you have to lean on your why. You have to lean on why you do what you do. Why does it matter? Why do you keep pushing? And at that point, like once you have that, you'll understand truly. I don't do this for a person. I don't do this for a place. I don't like. I do this because this is who I am. This is my gift. And you're gonna face obstacles. You're gonna face the ebbs and flows. You might have more downs than ups, but truly, when you're rooted in your why and it matters to you, you'll keep going. And so that like keep going is all I have to say. Keep going, keep fighting. Yes, it's tough, but you're built for this. You've always been built for this. All it is developing calluses and growing. Life is not as bad as we make it seem. It will improve. Keep fighting. I love y'all. I believe in y'all. I think about y'all all the time. Like whatever you're going through, it will pass over. It will strengthen you. You will be better for it. Keep fighting. Be blessed.